America, we are back, baby. Welcome to Monday's episode of America Unfiltered. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We have a lot of different things to talk about. It was a very crazy weekend. As I'm sure you guys have heard, there were multiple attacks around the world this weekend that we're going to get into. The first one I want to talk about today, I want to talk about the Bondi shooting that happened in Sydney, Australia. This was when a father-son duo targeted a Jewish event, a Hanukkah event that was happening on the beach. There were over, to my knowledge, I think there were 15 dead and over 40 injured, and this shooting went on for over 10 minutes straight, uninterrupted, even though police were on the scene. So we're going to talk about that today. We'll talk about all the different angles of what might have happened, what radicalized these individuals to do this, and then we'll also talk about the Brown shooting as well. The Brown shooting in Rhode Island happened during finals week. This happened in a classroom where there were a few individuals who were prepping for finals, and it seems like it was possibly a targeted attack, so we'll look into that theory today. There were 2 people who did pass away and 9 who were injured. Then we also had another attack, this one not as big, but it's still noteworthy and worth talking about. We had Rob Reiner and his wife stabbed to death in their own home, and it happened in the same neighborhood that the O.J. Simpson stabbings happened in. And again, I'm not saying those things are related in any way. I just thought it was a weird detail that I noticed. So I want to talk about all that today. I also do want to talk a little bit about the Candace Owens, Erika Kirk summit that's happening today. We have no details as of now. I waited till later in the day to do the show because I was hoping we'd get more details. But I'm guessing, by my best guess says that because we haven't had any details yet, that the conversation is most likely going well, and Candace is going to backtrack slightly on some of the things she said about Turning Point USA, or even Erika Kirk herself. That's all speculation right now. Like I said, we really have no details besides the fact that they are meeting today. The stream with them together was supposed to happen today, but instead they decided they were going to have an in-person private meeting together. So we'll talk about that. And that will be the entire show today. We have a few different topics, like I said. It'll be a great show. It's not going to be a crazy long show. You might be able to still hear it. Maybe not, but I'm still sick. I've been sick the entire last week. It's like day 7 of me being sick. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Something's going around in my area that I have seemed to have caught, and I cannot get rid of it. I have this massive head cold, so it's not going to be a crazy long show. We're going to kind of go through all the topics, not too quickly, but fairly fast. But we'll still have a fun show. I want to remind everyone to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. We'll still do all the comments at the end of the show today. And please remember to rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Let me know what you think about it. But with that, let's get right into the show today. I do want to start off with the Bondi shooting, the thing that happened in Sydney, Australia, the attack on the Jewish community that happened at their Hanukkah event on the beach. I want to read you guys an article from the New York Post here. Let me start up at the top here. It says the death toll in the terrorist attack at Australia's world-famous Bondi Beach has surged to at least 15, with 40 injured in the harrowing onslaught, which lasted more than 10 minutes. The victims include a 10-year-old girl, a popular rabbi, and an elderly Holocaust survivor. Footage from the scene show the 2 terrorists, one of whom had a shotgun and the other a bolt-action rifle, firing round after round from a bridge overlooking the family-friendly Hanukkah by the Sea 2025 event, which had a petting zoo. I mean, I don't know why that's relevant. Let's see. Actually, let's keep going down here. There's a bunch of just not necessary details in the article. The twisted pair are believed to be a father-son. Australian authorities revealed Monday that they owned at least 6 fully licensed weapons between them. Harrowing cell phone footage shows that the gunman went unchallenged for more than 10 minutes, despite cops reportedly being nearby. One furious Israeli-Australian survivor said that the pair were able to continue their shooting rampage for 20 minutes. 20 minutes with 4 policemen there. Nobody fired back. Nothing. They froze, said the witness, who revealed he covered his children with his body while watching the horror unfold. And I want to take you guys over here to X here. Give me a moment. Let me get this pulled up. But I want to show you guys something that I found interesting about this. There were a couple different things. So here's going to be the first video I show you. Let me get this on the big screen here. But this is the first video. So you could see this guy. He's racking the gun multiple times, turning directions. Sorry about that. He seems very efficient with this weapon. And I'm not saying that he necessarily was trained specifically for this, but it does seem like he's very comfortable with that weapon, comfortable enough to be able to rack it back like muscle memory. Very strange, very odd. I'm not trying to insinuate anything like this was, a planned false flag attack or anything like that, but there was a couple weird details about it. So one detail I noticed right after, and it was reported by Reiner Navarro, was that shortly after, or immediately after the shooting, Mossad was told to go investigate the shooting and help out the Australian authorities. And then immediately we were seeing pushed from Israeli media that this was an Iranian attack. And then that fell apart pretty fast. People realized that it wasn't an Iranian attack and that it was two individuals who were radicalized by ISIS. They figured this out because they had an ISIS flag in their car. They also had multiple explosives in their car as well. But I do find it very odd that that is what they initially jumped to, that this was Iran who attacked the Jews in Australia. I thought that was something we should all keep in mind. And there was one other thing I wanted to show you guys before we talk about the rest of the attack. Let's see, where is it? Give me one moment here. I have so many different tabs open, so it's hard to locate them all sometimes. But here we go. This is the other thing I wanted to show you guys. So this is the little map right here. You can see the police station circled right here, and you can see the red dot for where the Bondi beach shooting is. It's a little odd that it took them 10 minutes to get there and 20 minutes for anything to happen. That part is a little odd as well. Again, maybe this was just a very bad day for the police and they really, really fucked up. Or you could say maybe they were paid to, I don't even know what else to speculate. Maybe they intentionally didn't help. I'm not exactly sure. But this entire thing is very odd, very absurd. There was also speculation that one of the shooters was a former IDF soldier. And again, that theory fell apart quickly too. So again, I'm trying not to speculate a lot. I want to report truthfully and honestly about what happened here. I mean, this was a mass shooting. This was awful. Multiple people injured and they were targeted for their religion. And I'm more critical of Israel and even organized Jewry than almost anybody. I criticize it almost every day on this show. But I also at the same time say consistently and constantly that I denounce all violence, that nobody should act violently, and that nobody should die because of their beliefs or because of their heritage or anything like that. So I completely condemn this attack. I think it's very awful that it happened and very awful that somebody went out and targeted these people on a day they were celebrating together. No matter what they believe or who they are or how much we disagree with people, targeting people because of their beliefs or their race, ethnicity, whatever it is, targeting them violently will never be accepted or tolerated. So these two people, one had a shotgun, one had a bolt-action rifle, and one of them was actually disarmed. So in the middle of taking shots, a man snuck up behind a car, snuck up, and was able to tackle the guy, taking the gun away from him, and then he had a shot at the guy, and he decided not to take it. This was a Muslim individual. I think they were all Muslim individuals. Some speculate that the guy was a Christian, but it seems that he was most likely Muslim from the reporting in the media. Again, there's still a lot of confusion around this. There's still a lot of moving parts, so I'm trying not to say anything is set in stone that I don't know for sure. All I do know for sure, and all the media seems to know for sure, is that the attack did happen, that 9 or 15 people were dead, and that 40 people were injured in this mass shooting. This is something that everybody needs to be on the lookout for. And places like Australia, and again, some people are going to criticize this, some not, but need to look more like the American system a little bit, where it's like, it's very hard to get a gun in Australia. It's very hard to get a gun. I mean, they really have it locked down. In America, there would be people there who are able to defend the premises. There would be people there who are concealed carrying or open carrying or able to defend themselves. And it's a reason I tell everybody to learn how to use firearms, to not only buy firearms, but take training classes, because you need to know how to defend yourself and you need to know how to defend the people around you. If you're in a restaurant and someone shoots it up, you need to know how to defend yourself. If you are at an event like that, whether it's a Christmas event, a Hanukkah event, whatever it is, you need to be able to defend yourself if something were to happen. And in a place like Australia, that was not able to happen, and it is extremely sad that this happened. One of my viewers, I'm not going to name who it was, but actually reached out to me. They live about 10 minutes from where it happened. They sent me some videos of it. Some I saw on social media, some were newer videos, and it was extremely graphic. That's the reason I'm choosing not to show the videos on the show today. Usually I don't shy away from things like that, but the videos are insanely graphic. There are dead bodies lying over, people injured, children injured. It's extremely absurd. I told you guys I'm sick. I'm sorry if I keep coughing. But yeah, I don't want to speculate too much on other things that happen. I do want to read you guys one other thing from the news. Let me see. Let me get it pulled up here. But yeah, the older adult, the father, was 50 years old. The son was 24 years old, radicalized by ISIS, it seems. They legally owned the firearms. They're calling it a terrorist attack officially, targeting the Jewish community during a Jewish holiday. The younger suspect had previously been investigated in 2019 for possible links to ISIS, though the authorities said at the time he was not considered an imminent threat. There's no confirmed evidence they were part of a larger organized cell, but extremist ideology appears to be a motivation. So maybe they weren't a part of ISIS, but it seems like they were radicalized by ISIS. Seems to be the insinuation by the media. It seems to be what they're hinting at. I mean, they did have an ISIS flag in their car. I'm not going to over-report on this subject because, like I said, there's still not full scope of information. I want to learn more about the attacks and about the people who committed the attacks before I further report on this. So expect that coming later this week at some time. We will get more details on this. I'm sure of it. I'm sure the media will be nonstop talking about this. But yeah, I don't want to over-report on something that like I said, I don't know too much about, and the media doesn't seem to know too much about. That's all there is on that subject. It's very sad. I want to tell everybody, and I myself am going to do this tonight, say a prayer for the people who were harmed in this. This is a time where we should put all of our differences aside and really pray for the people who were shot at, people who lost family members, people who were injured, even the guy who stopped the one shooter. He was shot twice. He is going through a surgery. Let's pray for him as well. But this is a very, very sad time. Political violence is at an all-time high. Religious violence is at an all-time high. And we have to condemn all of it. We cannot have people acting violently because they have a different belief system. It's atrocious that happens in today's world. Again, we could disagree with the Israel lobby. We can disagree with organized Jewry. We could disagree with usury. We could disagree with a handful of things. But acting violently is never in the cards. And acting violently is something that we will never accept. No matter who it's targeted towards, I will never accept it. So with that, I do want to move on to the next topic on the show. Like I said, we're not going to stay on any topic for too long. I am not really feeling well today. My head cold is almost worse than it's been all last week. So I want to get into this Brown shooting. The Brown shooting was absolutely absurd as well. And it's getting more and more absurd by the minute. So we had reported that there was a shooting at Brown University. This is in Rhode Island, a fairly small state very small state in the United States. And this one's very weird. It might have been targeted, it might have not been. We'll dive into both ends of it. But the bigger picture and the bigger story of it all is they don't know who fucking did it. They have no clue. They arrested somebody, said they thought they had the killer, and then not immediately actually, a few hours later, released this individual and said, nope, actually it's the wrong guy. Sorry, I keep coughing. This is not my day. But how do you have such a lackadaisical approach to this? How are they so bad at this? This is not the first time this has happened. I mean, even with Charlie Kirk shooting, they arrested the George Zinn guy and then a few days later arrested Tyler Robinson. But with that, they at least had clear pictures. They don't have a single clear picture of this person. They have a couple images that are very blurry and there's masks, everything like that. But they have no real images and no real tracking on this person. And it's very odd that this was able to happen. And there was speculation whether this was a terrorist attack or not, or if it was a targeted attack. There was initial reports that the person screamed Allahu Akbar before they took the shots, but then a lot of people said that wasn't true. This was where 2 people died and 9 were injured. The two people died. One of them was a young woman. She was in charge, or she was the VP of, I think it was a young conservative group on campus, the only young conservative group on campus. And then the other was a young man who was training to be a neurosurgeon. So it's very sad that we had the loss of life of these individuals. It's very sad the incompetence by the law enforcement themselves, who are unable to track killers, who are unable to do anything about this and make the community safer. I mean, this person is still on the loose. This person could commit an atrocity tonight or tomorrow or at any point because the law enforcement has yet to apprehend this individual. They don't even know who it is. They just put out, let me bring it up, a $50,000 bounty for anyone who has information on this person. Let's see. I have it right here. I'm going to pull up the picture for you guys. Right here. Law enforcement releases new photos of suspected Brown University shooter. $50,000 reward being offered for information. And these are the pictures. As you can see, they're kind of shit. I'm pretty sure these two are basically the same fucking image, just a different frame. And then this one right here, it's like half of it. But you don't see shit. I mean, you really don't see shit in this image. What the fuck is law enforcement doing? Are they doing anything to keep people safe? Are they doing anything to help anybody out right now? The law enforcement in Sydney took over 10 minutes to respond. The 4 officers who were there didn't do shit. And they were right fucking there. And that's in another country. But now in America, you have campus security everywhere. You always have police stations right near or on college campuses. But we're not able to apprehend this individual. You have cameras every fucking corner of a college campus. And a school like Brown has what, like an $8 billion endowment, something like that? They should have high security. They should have cameras everywhere. But for some reason, the negligence by them, we're not able to get any information on what actually happened here. All we do know, like I said, is 2 individuals were shot and killed, and then 9 more were shot and injured. This happened in a classroom where they were studying for their finals, and the police don't seem like they actually have any leads right now, which is very sad. So they originally arrested this one guy. Then his Twitter was circulating all over. Like, they said, oh, we found this guy's Twitter. Everyone was looking at it, trying to see if there was anything that was really radical. He hadn't posted since 2017. The guy they arrested was an ex-military guy, and he ended up not being the shooter. Oh, sorry, I gotta stop. Again, my throat and my head are killing me. So this is just complete incompetence by law enforcement in this country. They are not doing anything to keep the people safe. The administration is doing nothing to stop radical leftists. And I'm assuming it was a radical leftist because people are saying that the girl who was shot was targeted, that she was the initial target. And they're saying it was because she is one of the leaders of this young conservative group, the only young conservative group on campus. And again, that's just speculation. It's possible that that's not true. So again, I'm not going to misreport on anything. But that is the main theory going around right now, that this woman was targeted because she was a conservative and leading a conservative group on campus. And with the current culture of political violence we have in this country, I don't find it to be that surprising. I don't think it's that absurd to say that this was a politically targeted attack. Possibly it's not. Possibly it was just another mentally ill school shooter. We know that there's massive problems with SSRIs and mental health in this country, and we know that people are on way too many pills, way too many antidepressants, like I said, and they have these crazy side effects. And then they get depressed, they get angry, they have some form of a mood swing, and they decide to commit a very violent, atrocious act. And that could very possibly be the case. But the speculation online right now is that this woman was targeted because of who she was. And if that's the case, that is, no matter what, it's absolutely terrible and absurd. But if this was a politically violent attack, I have to ask, where's the president on this? When he said he was going to designate violent leftists and Antifa as, domestic terrorists, what happened to that? Did anything ever happen? Or was that just for show? Was that just for another popcorn fucking headline? Because it doesn't seem like the administration is doing anything to limit the violence in this country. It doesn't seem like it's getting any better. It doesn't seem like people are acting any better. And I know the president can't force everyone to act fucking like, I know the president can't go and fucking hand the beating down to every person who's out of line. But at the same time, I expect the administration to do a lot better. Since they refuse to get rid of the Patriot Act, since they still have access to everyone's phone calls, emails, text messages, social media posts, whatever the fuck, I'd expect them to be able to at least stop some of these things. Like, what's the point in giving the government all of our data if they're not going to stop anything like this? What's the point of giving Palantir all of our fucking data if we're still going to have attacks like this on the homeland? I'm sick and tired of all my information being public to the government, being public to these companies like Palantir for nothing to actually change. I don't want them to have the information regardless, but at the very least, if they have that information, can we at least ask that they stop the fucking violence in this country, the political violence in this country, the school shootings in this country? And people want to blame this on like a gun issue. It's absolutely retarded. If you think that gun laws would have changed this, that was a gun-free zone where he made this, where he shot up. How would gun laws have changed this? The only way it would have is if that wasn't a gun-free zone and the students in that classroom were allowed to conceal carry. Because if that was a young conservative group in there, I guarantee one of them would have been carrying. So, I find the entire thing to be absurd that leftists right now are arguing for more gun control. You even had the fucking coach of the Warriors arguing for more gun control. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, get the fuck out of here. Shut up and dribble. I'm so fucking sick and tired of some of these people in sports giving their opinions in politics like they fucking know anything. No, shut the fuck up and go dribble. I'm fucking sick and tired of that. But yeah, this was the second major attack of the weekend. We had the Sydney shooting. We had the Brown shooting. One was in Australia, one in America. Both very terrible. We want to pray for the loss of life and the recovery of anybody injured. And we also need to try and work as a community to not only better our communities, but to try and find this individual. I mean, there's a $50,000 bounty on this person's head if someone can bring this person in, and the law enforcement has no fucking clue who did it. I'm sorry if this show feels a little off or rushed today. Like I said, I'm really not feeling well. I'm really sick. I have a huge fucking head cold. It's not going too well. Hopefully I should be better soon. I really thought I'd be better by today, but I'm not. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not been fun at all. It's been pretty fucking miserable, actually. But I enjoy doing the show. No days off the show. It doesn't matter if I'm sick or not. This is bigger than just me. This is about America. This is about our safety. This is about our sovereignty. This is about much more than just myself. I do want to get something else pulled up here. Give me one moment to get it pulled up. I want to play this quick video for you guys. So this is right after they released the individual that they had in custody, because this is absurd. What the hell is going on? There we go. Sorry about that. I had to fix the audio.
Shortly, we will be releasing the person of interest who had been detained earlier today. And the Attorney General can speak a little bit about the rationale for that. But we want to inform the community that that individual will shortly be released from Providence Police. Shortly.
It's not a crazy clip or anything, but it's just to show up. They have no fucking answers on any of this. They have no fucking answers about anything. Let me see if I can find... I had one more video I wanted to show you guys, actually, about it. Let's see if... Because a bunch of people were deleting their posts about it because of how much misinformation was going around. People were reporting too early, things like that. I want to see if they... Because I feel like they might have deleted this one. Yeah, it looks like they did delete it. There was originally a video of the guy getting arrested in the first place that got deleted. I wanted to show that, but I had a feeling they would delete it. Sorry about that, guys. But, like I said, they have no clue what's going on. They have no clue who committed this atrocious act. And because of that, everybody in that area should be on their toes. Everybody in that area should stay, to be honest, out of a lot of public places unless you're able to defend yourself, unless you have a good exit strategy. I would be very cautious in that area. I mean, this could have been a targeted attack and a one-time attack, and the person could not try and do it again. But if this was a terrorist-style attack, this could very well happen again, and people need to be on their toes about it. With that, I do want to move on to our next topic. Like I said, I'm not going to stay on any topic for too long today because I'm not feeling well, but I do want to talk slightly about this Rob Reiner shooting that happened. I mean, this was, again, a very sad thing that happened. A lot of people know who Rob Reiner is. Rob Reiner worked in Hollywood. Rob Reiner was an actor. He was a producer. But him and his wife, and I'm reading this off the New York Post, were found stabbed to death in their Brentwood, Los Angeles home. Brentwood is the same place where O.J. Simpson famously, or I can't say he did it, he's dead now. Who gives a shit? He's not suing me. Where he stabbed and cut his wife's head off and Ron Goldman's head off. But authorities responded to a medical aid call at about 3:50 p.m. and discovered their bodies inside the residence. The injuries were consistent with knife stab wounds. Officials are treating it as a homicide, and their son, Nick Reiner, was arrested and booked on suspicion of murder in connection to their deaths. Nick Reiner has had issues with drug addiction, rehab, and periods of homelessness. He was also in the Hollywood scene as well. And this is a very sad attack that happened on American soil as well. So it seems like the son of Rob Reiner and his wife stabbed both Rob Reiner and his wife and killed them in their home in Brentwood, Los Angeles. There's not a ton more to report on it, but I do just want to say that there is a massive rise in violence due to mental health issues in this country, and it is our government's role to fix this. It is our government's role to address the mental health crisis happening in this country, whether it's stemming from social media, stemming from the lack of care from parents, whether it's stemming from drug issues, stemming from any of whatever the fuck it is coming from. People in this country need to take mental health more seriously. They need to stop overdiagnosing people. And I know some people might think that's backwards, but I think a lot of the problems here come from overdiagnosing people. I think putting people on these SSRI medications and putting people on these medications that don't really help them with their problems, but just help them temporarily forget about them, I think that's a massive issue, and I think the side effects of these pills in the long term need to be studied a lot more, because I think that's a big reason we're seeing a lot of these school shootings, a lot of the violence, people killing their parents, people shooting up movie theaters, schools, town squares, whatever it is. I think a lot of it comes from mental health issues, and if we don't address that, it will never get fixed in this country. And that's all we're going to talk about when it comes to Rob Reiner. Like I said, there's really not a crazy amount to report on there besides he got stabbed. The only other thing to report on is Donald Trump's post. Let me actually pull that up for you guys because that was fucking absurd, and we should talk about that. So this is the post from Donald Trump. It says, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. What the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is this post? It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. This is an indefensible post. Why the fuck did the president click post on this? Two people were stabbed to death in their own home by their son, and Trump's like, it's because of Trump derangement syndrome. The golden age of America's here. First of all, if this is the golden age, this is shit. I mean, this is the fucking terrible, the state of America. We're about to go to war in Venezuela. We bombed Iran. The Epstein files got buried. The economy's in the fucking toilet. People can't get jobs. People can't buy homes. We have mental health crises out the fucking ass. We have more shootings than normal. We have more political violence than normal. This is one of the most politically violent climates we've ever been in. but somehow this is the golden age. And that's not even like the worst part of this. The worst part is where he talks about the Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you even talking about? This had nothing to do with you. Donald Trump wants to make this about himself. Donald, this had nothing to do with you. This had to do with his fucking drug addicted son who was, he had mental health problems. He had drug issues. This person, and again, I'm not justifying what this person did, but we have to address those issues, not say that this is Trump derangement syndrome. Trump, you're a fucking asshole. You have Trump derangement syndrome. You're so fucking up your own ass and hyper obsessed with yourself that you can't realize the bigger picture of what's going on. I'm very disappointed in the president for this, and I think it's so sad that this is what we're dealing with. I think it's so sad, the incompetence by the government, by the president. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, it's just, I'm so disappointed in Trump. As someone who campaigned for him, it really breaks my heart to see how fucking downhill this guy has gone. I gave up on Trump a while ago. I don't think there's a lot of redeemability left there. Sure, he does a couple base things here and there, but that's just a pander to people like me. He doesn't actually give a shit about us. He's a second-term president. He sold his soul to the Israel lobby. He sold his soul to the establishment and the deep state. He's become part of the deep state and the establishment, and now he's shitting on a guy who's dead, saying he had Trump derangement syndrome, and that's the reason he got stabbed to death. Like, fuck you. You're a piece of shit for that, Trump. Really absurd. Really fucked up. It's really indefensible. I do want to keep moving on. Like I said, I don't want to stay on any topic for too long. I do want to get this other thing pulled up because this is going to be one of the final things we talk about. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter show today. But this right here is the post from Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk said, Candace, Owens, and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15th. Candace and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. And let's double check live on air right now if there's been any updates. Nope. Still no updates. I don't think. Let's check the replies. Yeah, still nothing since before. So I would imagine that the meeting is either still going on or they've mutually decided not to talk about it for the day. But I want to address this Candace Owens thing because I've been getting a lot of shit in the comments for it, and I'm not going to back down from my position. But what I do want to address is I think after this meeting, people are going to start to see that there was a pretty good middle ground between what I was saying and what a lot of Candace fans were thinking. I don't think Turning Point USA was necessarily involved in the murder. I definitely don't think Erika Kirk was involved in the murder. Do I think Erika Kirk acts weird? Yes. Do I think she's able to be criticized? Yes. She's the CEO of one of the biggest political organizations in the country. But I don't think she was behind her husband's murder. I think that's absolutely absurd. Do I think Tyler Robinson acted alone? No, I've said that multiple times. I think that there are multiple other people in the Discord server that we need to know about. We don't know shit about Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs has been missing since October, and nobody seems to be talking about that. There's a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of things we don't know about, and this whole George Zinn thing, that was really weird in itself too. So I think there's a lot of things that definitely need to be addressed, but I think after this meeting, I think Candace is going to walk back some of her things she said about Erika Kirk and about Turning Point USA. Maybe, maybe not. I could be wrong on that, and we'll report on that further this week as we get more information. I'm guessing we're going to get more information tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get anything tonight, but if we do, I'll definitely put an update in my Telegram channel, and I'll put it on X as well. I'm sure you guys will see it yourselves. But it doesn't seem like we're going to get more information tonight. I was hoping we would. That's kind of the reason I waited so long to do the show, is I thought, they were going to have the meeting midday, earlier in the day, and we'd have more information by now. But we really don't have shit on it. But this entire thing, I think, has gone too far. The fact that Candace Owens said, the only people that could stop me are God and Erika Kirk. And then Erika Kirk's like, stop, and Candace was like, no. Like, that to me is when it got too far. And the reason I kept calling it a grift is not necessarily because she's reporting on it or speculating different things. It's because she was drip-feeding information. She said she had information. She's like, I'll release a new name every day this week. Like, no, that's not how this shit works. Give us the fucking names you have and let us let us know the information. That's how a real investigation goes. That's how real reporting goes. And that's not what she was doing at all. And those are really my biggest criticisms. And some people had a massive problem with that. You'll see when we go to the comments at the end of the show today what I'm talking about, because it was absolutely absurd. I mean, the Candace, Erika, Candace Turning Point USA saga has been going on for a while now. I mean, she was publicly accusing some of them of being like gay and pedophiles and essentially responsible for their boss's death, and Erika responsible for her husband's death. And maybe she didn't specifically say like this person did it, but speculating it and telling the entire world it and telling them to speculate that's not good for anybody. It's really not. And I'm not one to say that the conservative movement needs to fully come together, because I understand the civil war that's happening within the conservative movement. I see myself as kind of a part of it, because I'm on the, against the Israel lobbying side, and then you have kind of like the pro-Israel side. But at the same time, I do think there needs to at least be a calming in the waters for now. I think there needs to be some sort of a ceasefire in that, because we can't have people just throwing unvetted accusations and attacks at people. And that's kind of the point it got to towards the end. So I'm very glad they're meeting. I think it will actually be a really positive thing, not only for the Conservative Party, but for Candace's credibility. I think Candace, if she kept going on without this meeting, her credibility would start to get questioned a lot. More and more people were starting to not necessarily turn on Candace, but wake up and be like, okay, like this is kind of weird. This is going in an odd direction now, and I'm not sure if I like it. And I think a lot of people are going to, I don't know, again, this is me speculating, because I'm imagining they're going to come out of this meeting, Candace is going to walk back a couple things she said and maybe continue on her investigation down a different path. And that's what I hope happens. And I think that will be great for the conservative movement if it does. I really think it's gone way too far. That's kind of all there is to say about that. Like I said, there's no real information. Let's double check one more time to see if anything's posted or if anyone's talking about it. Let's see if it's trending or anything. No, what the fuck is this? No, okay. No, we'll talk about this in a sec. This is nothing crazy news, but this is kind of funny. But yeah, that's all we're going to talk about there. I do have one more thing I want to talk about before we get to this. I want to talk very briefly about the Epstein files. On Friday is the 30-day deadline for the Epstein files to be released. And again, I don't think we're actually going to get the full release of the Epstein files. Polly Margaret right now is still only predicting a 4% chance that we get the client list. So most people are kind of on my side. They don't think that we are going to actually get the client list. We're not going to get any information that's actually usable, because Pam Bondi has the ability to redact any information she wants. Israel, where the files probably exist, has been redacting information. Donald Trump tasked the FBI with redacting information. So I don't think we have a transparent government. I don't think this is the golden age of America. I think they've failed us all in a lot of ways. And I think the Epstein conspiracy, or not even conspiracy, the Epstein controversy is one of the biggest things they fucked up on. And it's very clear that the government doesn't give a shit about what the people want. They care about protecting themselves and their donors. Because it's not necessarily going to be all the politicians on the list guilty of this. It's going to be a lot of the donors. It's going to be a lot of the billionaires. It's going to be a lot of the bankers. It's going to be a lot of Silicon Valley. And yes, you'll have some politicians, some major figures. I'd imagine Bannon, Trump, Bill Clinton, a lot of these people are going to be on the list. But will we actually get any arrests? Probably not. Will we see anybody go down for this? Most likely not. I'd imagine Jeffrey Epstein is the only one, and Ghislaine Maxwell, they're the only people who were suffer for these crimes. And that's very sad that we have governments protecting pedophiles. We'll know more about this on Friday. I'm not going to speculate too much. We've talked about Epstein a ton on the show. It's been one of the bigger stories on this show this year. But this Friday, we are supposed to get the full release of the Epstein files. So we'll report on that. Friday will hopefully be a massive show, a groundbreaking show. Great way to go into the weekend. But with that, I do want to go on to just some headlines in the day, and then we will go to our comments. Like I said, a quicker show today. Really just not feeling well. But there's this tweet right here. This is what I saw was trending. From Brian, you guys know my feelings about this guy. This guy literally used to own a child porn website. Terrible person. But he goes, yesterday, my 9-year-old son asked me why black people seem kinder than white people. I paused, not because I disagreed, but because I didn't want to overwrite his lived experience with an adult lecture. So I asked him if that was something he'd noticed himself. He nodded. Yeah, they just are. Again, I'm not going to dox exactly where this person lives because I do know because he used to live in my town. But he lives in Lee County, Florida. That's what I'll say. And if you guys know anything about Lee County, Florida, I promise you, the black people are not that nice. Nobody's fucking nice. Like, there are some nice people in that area, like, some, but not a lot. I mean, not a lot of people. Like, I'm laughing so hard because, I mean, this is obviously made up. This is so fucking made up. This is absurd. This is one of the most retarded things I've ever read. But, like, easily one of the most retarded things I've ever read. Why are black people so much kinder than white people? Why are adults talking to your kid in the first place? Like, that's fucking weird. Oh, this is this is so fucking absurd. But no, they're not. They're not. I can promise you. Again, I mean, I'm not gonna say everyone versus everyone is not gonna be. Yeah, you have a polite black guy and a rude white guy every now and then. I'm sure. But from my lived experience and most people's lived experience, this is not how they experience things. Not at all, and especially in Lee County, Florida. Again, if you know, like, let me see if I can find, like, a good Lee County video. Give me a minute. Let's see if I can show you guys what Lee County is like. Let's see. Let's see if we have any. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find any on here. Usually they're on, like, TikTok and shit. Nah, yeah, it's really just on TikTok where you see videos like that. Damn. All right, but you guys get the point. I mean, Lee County's not a good area. Lee County, there's hoods, there's ghettos, and you stay away from those areas. I've been in those areas. They're not safe. They're not fun. I've had black people confront me in those areas, and you want to get the fuck away as fast as possible. I used to work in that area in public places, and again, the most rude customers I had were consistently from one demographic. And it's not to say they're all like that, but it is to say that this tweet is completely fucking fabricated. I mean, like, there's no way his son said that to him unless he has instilled in his son that black people are good and white people are bad. Because I know Krasenstein is a self-hating white. It was one thing I noticed too, to go back to the Brown shooting. But during the Brown shooting, right after when they originally arrested the first guy, who was the ex-military guy, people like Krasenstein, Harry Sisson, tons of liberals were reporting, hey guys, it wasn't a transgender, it wasn't a Muslim, it wasn't a Jew, it was a white guy. It was a white guy who did the shooting. Like, they all kept reporting that it was a white guy, and they do that because they're self-hating whites. And it's not to say you can't report on it, but to go out of your way to specify, like, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, it's a white guy. Like, you are a self-hating white at that point. And in the last episode, I gave my opinion on self-hating white people. Fuck them. I mean, they're the worst. They're some of the worst, biggest sellout people in this country. And in the world. I mean, white people are a dying population, and that's very sad, and there are people who are happy about that, like the Krasensteins, like Harry Sisson, like all these fucking losers. But yeah, I noticed that. And the reason he posts this right there is, again, because he's a self-hating, I don't even know if we should, like, are Jewish people technically white? You know, it's up in the air. So I don't know if I should necessarily call him a white guy, but for sake of argument, a self-hating white man is what he is. And he's raising his kids to be pussies in that way as well. And that's very sad. It's extremely sad, actually. With that, I do want to move on. Let me see if there's any major headlines that have popped up while we've been talking. Doesn't really seem like Marjorie Taylor Greene announces engagement. Great. Yeah, there's like nothing fucking here. I mean, everything is still about the Bondi shooting and the Brown shooting right now. That seems to be the biggest things trending. Yeah, okay, that's all we're going to talk about today. That's going to be the entire show. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, it was a slightly different show than usual today. I'm really not feeling well, so I kind of rushed through a lot of things, and there's a lot of things to speculate on. You know, a lot of things where we don't really know all the answers to. We don't know all the answers about the Bondi shooting yet. We definitely don't know any of the answers about the Brown shooting. Rob Reiner seems to be the only thing we really knew some answers about, and it's just that his son is the one who did it. His drug addicted son is the one who killed him. And whether it was mental health issues, drug problems, there was speculation about him transitioning, although people are going back and forth saying whether that was true or not. But those are the only things really in the news. Like, it's been a fairly slow time of the year for news. The Candace Erika summit is really what I was hoping to talk more about today, but we really got no answers about that. So I'd imagine tomorrow's show is primarily going to be about the Candace Erika summit, the meeting that they had behind closed doors. Erika Kirk flew over to Candace Owens, which again, I thought that was slightly interesting too. Even though Erika flew there, Candace made a big deal of saying, like, I'm not free on the 15th. But then she's able to meet all day with Erika on the 15th. You know, that's a little odd. It seems like Candace either just A, didn't want to travel, or B, was looking for a way out of the public meeting. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but I think it's safe to assume that because of the amount of time this meeting has taken and the lack of information we've gotten, that it's going more in Erika's favor. I think if the meeting was volatile, I think if it was contentious, I think we would have heard something by now from Candace. Let me even check. Let's see if Candace put anything on her story, because that's where she gives most of her updates. Let's see. We're going to check everything here today, guys. Nope, last thing on her story 23 hours ago, and it was the post saying that she would be meeting with Erika Kirk. Okay, so that's going to be the entire show for the day, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. We are going to do all our comments now that it's the end of the show. Let me get them pulled up here. We'll start with our YouTube comments. Give me one moment. Sorry I'm not feeling well today. I don't really have to apologize for that, but I'm really not feeling well today. Not going well. All right. Let's see. All right, we'll start here. What the fuck's going on? Here we go.
Piers is so stupid. Now we can see. Again, he thinks his audience is a bunch of idiots who don't understand that he invited people to explain himself, to lick his wounds, and now to justify him to the audience. Pathetic. He invited him himself to attack him and make clips, and when that didn't work, he cries like a baby that now he's being attacked by groypers. Pathetic. And he even admitted on air that Nick spoke to him and a lot of fact-checkers who whispered false statistics into his ear. Parody.
Yeah, the entire interview made Piers look stupid.
Harry is a tool.
I agree. Harry Sisson's a pussy.
The black guy has a name. It's Mark Lamont Hill. Obviously, a person like you with your views would have no respect for him.
Yeah, because he sounded like a retard.
I guess only white people can interrupt according to James P. Very fair.
I don't think anyone should interrupt. When did I say only white people can? I said mainly black people do, but of course you didn't realize that because you're retarded.
I never thought I would see an actual YouTube channel where the host actually defends the Holocaust and slavery in America. Sad.
First of all, the Holocaust didn't happen in America. If you're saying the podcast in America, okay, like, why am I supposed to give a shit? Seriously, why am I supposed to care about slavery when white people ended slavery in America and my ancestors were owned as slaves back in the day? And again, we just witnessed a Holocaust, so save that bullshit for me.
Nick despises race mixing and Islam. Wonder what Tate thinks about that?
Tate respects his views on it. Someone dropped a Nick link as well. We're gonna let's watch it. Let me get it pulled up here. Oh, did it get deleted? What's going on? Let's see.
I gotta.
Why is this not Alright, one sec. Let me get this on the screen. Yeah, here's the video that the guy posted in the comments.
Find my 16-year-old wife. Probably when I turn 30 or something. Because here's the thing.
Ew. He wants to.
I've seen that clip already. The guy goes, how can you defend this? It's like, because it's a fucking joke. Because it's a joke. We're allowed to make jokes. This is America. Like, it's absolutely retarded. And then he goes...
Also, can you please not insult me this time?
Yeah, you gotta be more... You gotta be more conscious. You gotta understand what's a fucking joke and what's not, and then maybe...
Myron is the Walmart version of Tate.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk trash about Myron. The only thing I'll say is I don't like what he did with Milo, with Nick.
On Candace and Robinson, not only is it that she's not fighting for, whom she claims to believe is, an innocent man, but if he gets officially and legally nailed for this, hardly anyone but the most die-hard Candace simps will ever believe the courts didn't get the right guy. It's going to look worse and worse on her if she doesn't stick up for him.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to see an end to that after this meeting. But yeah, I agree that there's very contradictory of her statements. All right, let's go to our Spotify comments. Thank you for all the YouTube commenters. Wait, there was actually... I don't know where it was, but there was another one that I guess someone deleted, but there was a funny one.
I don't know who you are. I just happened to be looking for the Andrew Tate Nick Fuentes conversation and podcast popped up. I listened to the whole thing and it automatically went to another episode and I saw this clown's comment. You're absolutely right. A guy smarter than you, obviously. Keep it up. This is how Fuentes and others got started. They had to start somewhere. Day.
Oh yeah, I remember. That was on an episode a long time ago. Yeah, that guy was a retard. I am smarter than him. Oh yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere. Thank you for your appreciation. We're here every day.
These comments are wild.
Oh yeah, they were. Wait till you guys see all the comments over this weekend were actually pretty wild and funny. We got a lot of them actually.
Trespassing isn't a thing anymore. Someone was harassing me and I gave a warning to not come back. They called the cops, cried and made it sound different and now I'm facing malice. Felony. I was defending my son and I.
Oh wow. If you share your story with me, I'll report on it depending on what the story is.
I don't agree with Fuentes on some points, just like Tate. But guys like this need to be heard so we can agree or disagree. Zero silence is America.
Yeah, I agree.
Bro, you sound like a fed talking about Candace and Ian.
And you sound like a retard. I'm a fed? Like, kill yourself. Like, dude, if I was a fed, I wouldn't be in debt.
Bro, PLZ, stop going at Candace. You sound like you jetting that 7K check. She holding her cards and putting them in the table when she wants it. Smart as FCK. And I'm glad she poking around asking about every ring and that pay Tyler lawyer shit is so dumb. You think they gonna let Juice anybody represent him really? And if you think he is the shooter, you don't know much about shooting. You think a rookie like him could take a cold bore shot that accurate and then go to Dairy Queen, a gay dude?
First of all, yes, gay people can shoot. Not most of them, but yes, it is possible for a gay guy to take a shot with a gun. It wasn't a hard shot at all. Like, not a hard shot at all, especially with that kind of rifle and scope. And again, the problem with Candace, like I addressed in the show, is the way she went about it. I look like I'm taking a $7,000 check. You're obviously either new to the show or retarded. I criticize Israel more than anybody. Just shut the fuck up. You sound like a fucking idiot. A lot of people were mad about Candace. Again, I'm not going to back down from my position, but it's like some people need to wake the fuck up. There's a reason I talk like the average IQ in America is 100, and I want people to remember that when they listen to a lot of these comments. Ugh.
It's safe to say that you are currently grifting off her. It's clear to me that you have yet to watch a single full episode. She has not implicated a single person. All she has done was lay out the oddities and lies people are telling. It's very evident you are overwhelmed with only pieces of information. I strongly advise you to watch Becoming Bridget and then fully watching Candace's entire Charlie Kirk podcast. There's a reason why an insane amount of people watch her shows.
Yeah, because the average IQ in America is 100. That's why. That's the reason so many people watch her show. And yeah, I like, you're like, you haven't watched all her shows. I have. They're not that impressive. When you say watch Becoming Bridget, I've watched that. I believe part of it. I believe the part possibly about the transgender. I don't necessarily believe the part that they're related. I find that part to be odd. And yes, I've watched the entire thing about the Charlie Kirk podcast and the Charlie Kirk assassination. I've watched every episode, and it's clear that you're just a fucking idiot.
Wang half.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of these. Wang half, baby.
Wang half. Did y'all see the video of woman propaganda get slapped by that fat muffin top guy and just walk off man face palming? He walked off to Nick standing with the hoodie on. Groypers have to be tougher than that or it's over. You can't get your man card pulled like that and just walk away. That's the white person equivalent of getting your chain snatched. I bet Candace and Ian Carroll would have swung back just saying.
First of all, in New York, self-defense doesn't exist. If you defend yourself in that way in New York, you'll go to fucking jail. Second of all, he didn't like run to Nick Fuentes like that was the first time they ever met. He just had like, it was a weird coincidence that he happened to be on that other street corner. And then you clarify here, the entire thing was a big misunderstanding. And you're like, it's the white person equivalent of getting your chain snatched. It's like, okay, like, this isn't the fucking hood. Yeah, de-escalation is always the key. Like, yes, defend yourself, but you don't have, like, if someone just smacks you and you guys can go your fucking separate ways, again, like, just go your fucking separate ways. De-escalate at all costs, you know? It's, as somebody who actually trains in fighting, de-escalate at all costs. You don't know what someone's capable of. You don't know if you smack that person if they're going to shoot you. You don't know if you smack them back if they're going to do something, or if they, like, off camera, there was like 10 other people standing behind the guy who smacked woman propaganda, and it's just him and one other person there. Like, what are they going to do? Go 2 versus 10 because he got smacked over a misunderstanding? Like, just stop.
Context was that it was a big misunderstanding after the New York YRC event and the muffin top guy thought Hayden was a leftist, but a terrible look for the Groyper dudes and a bad look for Nick, and he wasn't even involved.
I don't think it impacts Nick at all. I think that's retarded.
At the least don't just walk away, it's called self-defense. How you gonna get bitch slapped by another man and just walk off? I'd hate to know Hayden had my back. Violence isn't always the answer, but the internet isn't ever gonna forget how he walked away. Hell, at least shove the guy or go at him hoping someone breaks it up.
Again, like, de-escalation should always be the key. I'm not going to say, like, Hayden's a tough guy. Like, yeah, Hayden just walked away because he doesn't know how to fight. And he should know how to fight. But at the same time, when you know how to fight, like, I train fighting. I've trained for years in fighting. You de-escalate at all costs. You do not try and further escalate the situation, even if the other person's being the aggressor. And again, in New York, self-defense doesn't exist. Look at Daniel Penny. He got his life ruined. And you're saying the internet won't forget? It's the internet. It's the opposite. They literally will forget in a fucking day. The internet literally will forget by next week. No one will give a shit. He still has 2 million followers on Instagram.
Just don't open your door, bro.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Someone's on your doorstep harassing you. You have every right to open the door. Let's talk about the Nick plea deal.
I know I'm late on this, but Sam Tripoli has a guest on that talks about assisted suicide going on in Canada. Tinfoil hat number 919. Absolutely horrible stuff going on. Please make this a bigger issue.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about assisted suicide more on the show now that it's becoming a thing in America.
Obviously you love Nick and he can't stand Candace, probably for good reason. But if you think the faggot on the roof carried out a murder, you are clueless.
I don't think he did it alone, but I think he took the shot. Why'd he turn himself in if he didn't take the shot? This person who we're going to read this comment from next, they had a response, and then they had their own thread later. This person is the most seething fucking loser I've ever seen, and I went at him pretty hard in the comments.
James, you're a fucking idiot, bro. STFU, and quit trying to ride Nick's dick so hard. It's pathetic.
Yeah, you're just a retard.
Thanks, James, for not folding to the most extreme conspiracy theories. Respect.
Yeah, I think a lot of conspiracies are low IQ. I do like some conspiracies, but I think some of them are very low IQ.
What kind of straight man carries around tampons for female friends? Face rolling on the floor laughing.
Harry Sisson, because he's a pussy. Alright, this is where we get to the thread by the guy who's the most seething douchebag retard.
Candace is a litmus test. Either you believe that the government is corrupted, lies constantly and should be dismembered immediately, or you're a fed, or you're some retard who can't sit still, listen and comprehend to something longer than 15 minutes. I like your stuff and I like Nick too, but it's weird that you're both so adamant about making her seem crazy. I'm starting to think you're both simple-minded instigators who get pumped by the feds to create chaos. I don't accept the narrative.
Dude, I'm starting to think that you're just one of the average IQ people in America. I don't give a shit. You're a retard. Candace does seem crazy. I promise you this. When Candace and Erika come away from this meeting and Candace walks back a lot of the things she says, I expect you personally to fill out a fucking apology form. Shut the fuck up. Your words mean nothing.
So you're just retarded? Got it. If the narrative is a soup sandwich, then that means a group of people conspired to kill Charlie. So, there's obvious lies and Candace is trying to find the truth, which is all anyone cares about. Maybe do your own research on the murder and stop acting like a cunt.
You're retarded. Candace's research has gone off the fucking rails. She had dreams that told her answers to her research, and that's credible to you? Again, you seem like a retard. This is, again, I disagree with Fidel on almost everything in this world. Maybe not, actually. He's on the right about some things, but me and Fidel disagree a lot. And not only do we disagree, we butt fucking heads in these comments. Like, I call Fidel a retard consistently. And maybe I don't know. But me and Fidel, we fucking came together and we just beat the shit out of this guy in the comments. This is Fidel having my back. Me and Fidel, we teamed up, Israel and the Goyim. Boom. Just beat the shit out of this guy.
Like Haley said, Candace killed him, and if you don't agree with me, you're a retard. That is how you sound.
Yeah, Fidel's just going at him. Now this guy goes at Fidel. Me and Fidel, though, tag teamed him in the comments.
Fiddle? It appears that you struggle with the English language, so I'm wondering where you're from and why you haven't taken the time to actually learn how to speak and write proper English. How about you shut your mouth on the topic of America until you know to properly read and write? You sound like a liberal cock. Fiddle.
Yeah, you're just a retard. People misspell shit. Who fucking cares, dude? Like, if I criticized everybody who misspelled something in my comments, I would spend the entire time crashing out. You're just a retard. And then I wrote back to him, I said, you sound like a raging retard. It must be easy to be as dumb as you in life.
You didn't give an argument, you just diverted away and said you're not an American, you don't know how to spell. Calm down. Just cause I cheated on my test when I was a kid, what do you want from me? I sat next to the kid who won the spelling bee in the whole school every single year. Obviously I'm not going to know how to spell. Listen, I agree that's the price I paid for cheating on my test, but you, on the other hand, your brain is messed up. You can't say a straight sentence without saying a nasty word.
That's Fidel. Fidel cheated his way through school, and Fidel doesn't know how to spell, apparently. Kind of funny. And then I said to the guy, I'm like, you actually sound like a schizophrenic freak, because he kind of does. And this was his response.
Who are you referring to, James P., the chatbot released to muddy the waters, or ME, the true American existentialist, Christian, blue-collar patriot born and raised in the cornfields of Middle Georgia? I'm your worst fucking nightmare, pussy. I was in 7th grade when my teacher turned the TV on for us to watch the planes take those 2 buildings down. I've seen this shit over and over again. You spit out whatever slop your handler feeds you and you think that keeps you safe. We see you.
You're my worst fucking nightmare. Here's what I'll read back exactly what I wrote back to him. I thought it was good. I wrote, I'm talking to you, fucktard. You talk tough behind the keyboard. You say, I'm your worst nightmare. You sound like a retard. Go suck off Bridget McCrone. By your own logic, it's only the FBI is right or Candace is right. How about do some critical thinking for once and realize that they might both be wrong? You're too stupid to think for yourself. A little less time in the cornfield and a little more time reading books might help you. Then someone goes, damn. But it's like, dude, you're my worst fucking nightmare? No, Massad's my worst fucking nightmare. You're just a nobody, actually. You're a nobody. You're literally a nobody. Like, shut the fuck up. I literally couldn't give a shit about what you say. You're too retarded to understand anything. You're just like a seething schizophrenic freak. And you're like, I like you and I like Nick, but you guys are making Candace seem crazy. No, you seem crazy. You need to go drink some fucking water and go the fuck home. No, we don't need you in the comments anymore. We don't need you.
You know, if you're gonna be a Fuentes cock rider, the least you could do is pronounce his last name the same way he does Yagafoon.
Fuck off. I don't care.
New theory. Candace did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with now. Candace did it. No, probably not, but that's funny. This is Fidel.
I don't think anyone thinks he should be punished for this, and why the hell should he buy her a new phone? But I will never post to support him. Yes, I believe he shouldn't have been, but if you want people to go out and support you, you have to realize, when you say stuff against them, they won't come to your support when you need them.
No, I think you need to defend free speech, because one day, you need to defend the right to protect yourself, because again, Fidel, one day someone might attack. Like, I pray it doesn't happen, even though I disagree with you on a lot. One day it could happen to you, and you want to be able to defend yourself. So, if you want to be able to defend yourself, you should allow people to defend themselves.
Freedom of speech. You don't have to like what they say to respect someone's right to privacy and speech.
Exactly.
If we learned anything from Donald Trump, it is that anyone who is that hungry for power will sell out. Nick Fuentes has sold out. It's blatantly obvious. Are you independent or do you work for Nick Fuentes? He may be the best option right now. Become a better option, and we will back you.
I don't work for him. I am independent, but Nick is a better option. Again, multiple billionaires have said Nick can't be bribed. Nick doesn't drink. Nick doesn't smoke. Nick doesn't have premarital sex. What are they going to blackmail him with? They can't blackmail him. They can't bribe him. So, no, he hasn't sold out. Just because he doesn't believe Candace's narrative doesn't mean he's sold out. This is why I say the average IQ in America is 100. You got to remember that when you're having conversations with people, that the average IQ in America is 100. Just putting that out there for people.
James the First. I'm not a huge Candace fan, but I think she has made some good points. My doubt that TR did it boils down to the rifle caliber should have knocked half his head off. No video of him shooting when it should be on camera. And he told Andrew Calvert and Frank Turek that they will try to kill me or WE similar right before he was murdered. I own a .3006 rifle and deer hunt, and the exit wounds are huge. No way that a .3006 him in the neck. Also, they can't hold us crackers down for long.
Yeah, but bullets, like, again, if you're as experienced with a firearm as you say, and I'm very experienced with firearms too, you know bullets suck, and you know they do weird things. And, like, whether we want to admit it or not, bullets do weird things, and hollow points exist, and, you know, bullets can move in different directions upon impact, and different things can happen, and unexpected things happen, and Murphy's Law says it literally is possible, even if it's not likely. So I don't think that's enough evidence to overturn it. And there are even multiple ballistics experts who agree with what I'm saying here.
White people are resilient and we are survivors. We made the modern world. We should encourage young people to have more children, and the government should offer incentives. Folks should also publicly frown upon interracial relationships. They were illegal until the 70s. I know that seems extreme to some, and I'm not saying it should be illegal, but we shouldn't be branded as racist for telling men and women to stick with their own race and not have mixed kids. It's not racist to love your skin.
It's definitely not racist to love your skin and love white people. Yeah, it definitely shouldn't be illegal, but more people should be encouraged. Like, I just think, look at it like this. It's like if having your kids and grandkids look like you in the future is important to you, then you got to marry within your race. It's that easy.
I honestly don't care who shot him at this point. Think Candace has given us all fatigue on the subject. That alone is a negative outcome of her rhetoric.
Yeah, Candace fatigue is real.
Okay, you lost me now dissing Candace and Ian. Bye, kid waving hand.
We won't miss you, don't worry. Again, I'm looking for the most elite human capital in the country. I'm looking for the smartest people in the country to be watching this. I'm not looking for the dumbest people to be watching this. So if that's enough to turn you off, goodbye. I don't give a shit.
To give a little pushback on your opinion on how Candace is going about this, she has a podcast that she did for years and years, well before Charlie Kirk was shot. Do you want her to shut down the podcast and do research only, or would you rather her do the opposite? She presents info once she has verified it. She has found a way where she can do both because the market of ideas shows the truth is compelling to millions of people, and she appears to be one of the few doing that groundwork.
Again, I don't have a problem with her investigating. I have a problem with her drip feeding information. How is that hard for people to understand? I repeat it over and over again, and all people hear is, he thinks Candace is bad. Again, this is where, like Fidel, you're right, dude. Fidel, I'm talking to you. You're right. We're Goyim. We're Goyim. We're fucked. We're cooked. We're cooked. Too many Goyim exist. Too many Goyim exist. Again, I'm not even trying to be a dick, but everybody who's like, if you say this about Candace, you have to be a Fed. You have to be taking $7,000. You have to be you have to not be listening to her streams. Blah. Like, it's like, no. It's possible that she's not right. Has that ever crossed your mind that it's possible that the FBI is wrong and Candace is wrong? Is that possible? Yes. Does anyone think it is for some reason? Fucking no. But again, the average IQ is 100 in this country.
Look back. People were saying she was losing it over Bridget narrative before CK. She also started drifting off JQ, going off into conspiracy territory. Seems like she has trouble just reporting facts.
Yep.
Fair. But what did she get wrong about Macron or CK assassination so far?
And then I responded about how one of my viewers fed a fake tip, and she read it as fact.
What tip was that?
And I talked to the viewer. He said he doesn't want me to disclose it out of fear of retribution, so I'm not going to do that. But it is 100% accurate, and whether you want to believe me, I don't give a fuck.
I just watched this so I can hear Nick grimacing face, grimacing face, grimacing face. BC, they keep taking down his fuckus pod on Spotify. So much for free speech.
Yeah, it's hard to get a podcast on Spotify when the ADL has ruined your life. It really sucks, but they should open it back up to them.
It's so hard to listen when Piers is always talking over others. Just a lot of noise and little talking.
Yeah, Piers Morgan sucks.
Damn bro, you're giving straight Alex Jones's Fuentes levels of inspiring speeches.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
High praise.
And then I said, gut level Wang half. And he goes with this.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. Damn straight. Gut level.
The white population is likely skewed. Example, anytime they ask race, I always put no answer. Don't want them hunting me down.
I don't think it's as skewed as you think it is. White people are like 8% of the world right now.
The white people in the video are all Jewish. Hope that helps you understand why they are self-hating whites.
They're not all Jewish. I have plenty of videos of non-Jewish self-hating white people.
If they are Jewish, they wouldn't consider themselves white.
Yeah, usually Jews don't.
Nick Faye Dente's at it again. Gabbing between gummies is his only talent. It's getting boring watching him whoring.
What, who are you, Dr. Seuss? Shut the fuck up.
Buddy thinks it's okay to be sexist to women. It's 2025, buddy.
Exactly. We're going back to reality. It is. We're going to treat them how they deserve to be treated.
Men and women have roles, however, I do feel like it would be better to treat them with respect.
I'm not saying they shouldn't get respect, but they shouldn't get voting rights.
Christian Fletcher is a cuck too.
He is a cuck. No, I'm not going to say that about him. But Christian, you got to realize... Christian, first of all, stop using your real fucking name. I told you that like a month ago. Second of all, women should not vote.
We do have roles. Gen-specific roles to be precise. Men have become weak. There will have to be an intense snap backwards to recalibrate.
Yep.
You can't just take away women's right to vote or take away their right to have an opinion on politics just because they are women.
They can have an opinion on politics just within their own home.
Marcus, what did I do to you? Face with tears of joy.
Who gives a shit? Marcus seethes too.
We can still go back to traditional gender roles without taking away voting rights from them. I mean, many women who are trad wives vote, and they have been voting for 105 years. In fact, there was a time even before modern feminism where women were allowed to vote from 1920 to 1960 or so. I feel like taking voting away is unnecessary.
No, it's not, actually. If women weren't able to vote, every single election would have gone to the right.
Sure, they can repeal the 19th Amendment. Look at what they are doing now. Just blowing shit up all over the globe showing America's. Never forget, they gave blacks the right to vote before women, which was a mistake. But most women are too emotional for politics.
They are too emotional for politics.
All human beings should have that right, and I agree women are too emotional sometimes, but they should still be able to vote. If anything, men are emotional than men. In general, men commit over 80% of crimes and over 80% of suicides, both of which are driven by emotion. I'm not saying that men should lose the right to vote either, but given these statistics, how can you say that women are more emotional than men and use that lie as a reason to say women shouldn't be able to vote?
It's like one of many reasons. And the things you named, like, again, I'm not justifying crime and suicide, but those are risk-taking things. They're less emotional, more risk-taking. And men are more likely to engage in higher risk and more risk-taking activities. And that's what you need in politics and leaders if you actually want change in the country. So it doesn't really prove it to me. And look up when you look up the suicide thing, look up how many men kill themselves after they get raped by a woman who, like, when I say raped, I mean she took everything in a divorce. And the abortion argument as well. A lot of women are just one-issue voters.
Historically speaking, most women weren't given credit for their inventions. I bet you didn't know that women invented windshield wipers, dishwasher, coffee filters, disposable diapers, Kevlar, and the modern refrigerator.
Dude, shut up. Like, who gives a shit? Again, I hate that argument because you act like men couldn't have figured that shit out.
Women also invented the home security system and car heaters.
Dude, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Alright, that's that comment thread. Let's go to this next one.
Candace is grifting off a dead man for months. There's really not much lower than that.
Yeah, it's gone way too far now.
Pusa made millions off Charlie's death. Candace is actually trying to investigate. If it's all bullshit, then it is what it is. I don't take any of this social media serious, and neither should all the crybabies bitchin' about Candace's hustle.
Shut up.
Couldn't agree more. Candace genuinely needs to stop victim blaming.
Okay, this person, like, you said you're like 16 in the comments, so I'm not going to be that much of an asshole, but you like consistently sound like a pussy in the comments, and you gotta work on that.
Okay, let's look at Angry Unicorn and her ketamine addiction for her deep insight on the murder of Charlie Kirk. LOL. This podcast is a clown show and the comment section is full of bots and cocks.
Yeah, there's no bots here. You're just that's the same guy who was seething earlier. You're just a seething fucking loser. And again, I'm fine with you never watching the show.
Agreed, Cap.
He was agreeing to when I said seething loser to that guy. And then he goes, weak cuckold. Okay, like, you're a pussy. Like, kill yourself. No one will fucking care. And then here's the last comment thread.
War is bad, it's rough, especially when your father's a terrorist portraying as a civilian, and when your mother tells your father go kill Jews for the greater good every day before he leaves the house. That's what it's sad. During the Holocaust, Jews were tortured emotionally, physically, for what? For the fact that they were Jewish, because they lived as a Jew, and that is bad according to Hitler. On the other hand, 20% of Israel is Arabs, and they live peacefully because they aren't trying to attack anyone.
Dude, again, we're not going to talk about the Holocaust. You know my opinions. It's been 80 years. We can move on.
Muslims don't like America because it's a Christian country, just like they don't like any other Christian country, and they don't like Israel because of the Jewish country, in simple terms. But the naive belief is they don't like us because we helped regime change wars. It's okay to say you're not so learned in this area. It's a whole complex issue and you just don't know.
That's retarded. That's absolutely retarded. Muslims and Christians get along better than Jews and Christians. Judeo-Christian's a made-up political bullshit thing. There's even videos of very prominent Jews saying, like, if you had to kill one-off Muslims or Christians, who would it be? And overwhelmingly, they say Christians.
You disrespect the Jewish religion, like, shut the fuck up.
I disrespect organized Jewry, and I disrespect the Israel lobby. Yeah, you're right.
Did you know America runs Gaza now? Israel last week tried to send a helicopter to the Yellow Line because terrorists were there, and it took 12 hours because they needed approval from the USA.
Well, when you're taking $4 billion a year on average, and $20 billion this year, and $300 billion total, and our military support, yeah, no shit, you should get our approval.
Do you think that people should not only be 18 years old, but also have the average IQ of at least an 18-year-old to be able to vote in elections? I think that would honestly help, and then clowns like Trump would never win.
I think a lot less people should vote. I think you should be like a property-owning man to vote. And maybe there should be an IQ test, but I don't know. I think you should be a property-owning man, and you need to be able to pass the same test that an immigrant passes, because most Americans would fail that.
Are you conservative, Jamin? Nah, because filter and hide the posts that prove you're an ignorant little bitch.
You're retarded. You just don't understand that Spotify filters things with curses or that seem aggressive. You're retarded.
This is by far my favorite podcast. I'm from Canada and am really sickened by what's happening here. Wish we had people like Nick and yourself here spreading the word and standing up for change. Thank you for what you are doing.
Yeah, thank you for being a fan of the show. Sorry you heard me crash out on a bunch of people today. People can be retarded, though. Yeah, like I said, the comments were wild, guys. Comments were wild today. Let's check if we had any Rumble comments. I don't know if we did. No, it doesn't look like we did. Alright, that's going to be the entire show. I'm going to sign off for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sorry if it was a little off of a show today. Like I said, I'm really not feeling well. Got a massive head cold. My throat's still hurting, but I'll be better this week, hopefully. But with that, I'm going to sign off today. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. And remember to join our Telegram channel by scanning the code up in the corner. Where is it? Up there. Up in the corner up there. And you'll stay updated on all things America Unfiltered. But with that, I'm going to sign off today. Hope you guys do have a blessed day, a blessed night. Thank you, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday.